Did you know that according to a research done by McKinsey and Company, that widespread application of data analytics in healthcare could account for $300 billion to $450 billion in reduced healthcare spending per year. A single 500-bed hospital loses more than $4 million annually because they couldn't utilize the patient data to maximize their potential. Hi, I am Mahesh Iyer, the co-founder of Sineflex Solutions. I am here to explain the value proposition of our company. But before we dive into that, let's start with a little bit of understanding of the healthcare domain in terms of how it's been over the last so many years and how it has undergone a major transformation. The healthcare domain has three major players: the pharmaceutical companies, the hospitals, and the insurance providers. The pharmaceutical companies are in the business of producing drugs for patients. Their focus has always been on molecule discovery, undergo a lot of clinical tests, get the necessary approvals, and then ultimately working with doctors to understand the best way to sell these drugs. But they are now pitching themselves as custodians of data, as consumers of data, and leveraging the power of data in order to be able to do well in their field. The second major player are the hospitals. Hospitals have been all about medical science. The doctors come in, being able to look at the particular patient and the report, identify the disease, ultimately being able to treat the patient. Now, with the explosion of data analytics, the hospitals leverage the data to see what kind of patients come in and how to get these patients to think about prevention rather than just treatment. They can now gather enough information to be able to predict when a particular patient is going to have the next issue and maybe use it for the operational side of the hospital business to optimize bed utilization rate and so on. So there is a huge scope of innovation in the hospital space. And then the third pair is the field are the insurance providers, which is sort of an allied field to the first two. The focus till now has been on claim reimbursements, but now they can leverage the data analytics to predict the outflow on a particular patient and to regulate the premium to be charged accordingly. So we see that with the advent of data has really transformed the way we think about healthcare space. This is what really prompted us at Sineflex Solutions to step into this area of trying to enable innovation and acceleration in the healthcare space. So data is there, it's all well and good. But the problem is there is often a lack of expertise on how to leverage this data, apply appropriate analytics to get meaningful, actionable insights out of it. The healthcare players have unique problems, but no existing solutions that can fit their requirement. The solution providers, the universities for instance, have a very rich collection of research, but probably requires a little bit of tweaking and customization to fit the bespoke problems of healthcare industry. We at Sineflex Solutions wanted to leverage what was already happening in many universities, in many of the startup ecosystems in India, to see how we could take that and build that into solutions that the healthcare companies would need. We went to the universities, understood the kind of research work they are doing, and built a catalog out of it. And when anything starts to match an existing problem that we are trying to solve for a particular client, whether it's a pharma company or a hospital, we try to connect the two and then go ahead and establish the project as a tripartite agreement. So you had the client, which was typically the healthcare companies who wanted a particular problem solved, the solution providers, who were typically professors at universities or startup companies having a particular product or service, and Sineflex role would essentially be to connect these two partners and add a layer of domain mentoring on top of all this. Because one of the things that we absolutely realized is that the connection is where a lot of things are lost. We felt that at Sineflex, we were kind of uniquely positioned to bring these two together. We had a good understanding of domain, having worked in this domain for a combined over of 50 to 60 years. We also had a really good understanding of the tech component given our natural strengths there. So we were always poised to be a very knowledgeable and experience based consulting services which really aimed to bridge the gap of the clients that needed problem solved and the solution providers that had the solutions which needed to be tailored to fit their particular problem. So what we did was that we crystallized this into a model that we really built and eventually trademarked called DART, which stands for Design, Analyze, Raise and Transform, and is one of the major USP of our company. First, we go to a particular client, understand from them if the problem that they are trying to solve is really the problem that needs to be solved. We then do an in-depth understanding from all the stakeholders involved to crystallize and hone in on what the exact problem statement is that needs to be addressed. So that's the design component. Then we do the analyze part, which is essentially understand who are the solution providers of the space. Are they from the research end? Are they startups? We try to baseline for clients what their current set of metrics are and what they really want to improve. We then move to raise, which is actually the lengthiest part of the project, which is where we do multiple iterations of the solution. We make sure that what we are trying to build is exactly what the client wants. And then the last part is the transform part, which is taking something which is a successful proof of concept and moving that into the company, making sure that everybody actually buys into that particular change. This also involves training the end users on the changes needed on their existing process to make this particular new solution effective. We not only make sure that there is an uptake of the solution, but we also ensure that we measure what the efficiencies are based on our new solution, comparing them to the baseline and ensuring that we really set out to do was actually we achieved, so that you are confident that your money is well spent. We differentiate from other companies by our domain expertise and our connection. We are a team of 3 co-founders. Santosh has a background in chemistry and pharmacy. He was the global head for the clinical scientific expert group at Novartis. Dinesh has a very strong technical background. He worked in data management space before heading the learning and development for Novartis. I have a background in statistics, worked in the pharma space for a long time and set up stats, programming and analytics team for Novartis. So Santosh's scientific strength, Dinesh's technical strength coupled with my analytic capabilities enabled us to turn our vision into a reality. It has been our mission to grow the healthcare innovation ecosystem by offering measurable, customizable, and high quality solutions to bespoke problems. Thank you for your valuable time and giving me the opportunity to present Sineflex Solutions value proposition to you.